2021 was undoubtedly the year of Solana.
So we're calling it an Ethereum killer, at least a viable alternative.
Really impressive history, and there are people who have made fortunes.
It literally went 100x, shocking even the most hardcore believers. But it's 2022 now and things are different. So I'm wondering, does Solana still have 10x potential? Or is it bound for more pain after already dropping 80% from its all-time high? Well, to answer this question, we gotta look at three things in particular: Solana's past, present, and future. In just a minute, we're gonna look at all the bullish things going on in Solana land. But first, we gotta start with a couple of problems that began in the past but still have not been resolved yet. The first is all the network issues they have faced. Call it DDoS attacks, network congestion, whatever. All I know is that this was not a one-time event. It's been happening ever since they launched, and I count 5 to 10 separate incidents depending on how you slice them. Without getting too deep into the details, I think a big reason why this happens is because of their network architecture. Solana optimizes for fast and cheap transactions, which is great. But unfortunately, that allows people to spam the network. Like when there's a hot NFT mint, people create bots that spam the network with thousands of transactions to try to claim the NFTs. They can do that because gas fees are so incredibly cheap. But the problem is, the network gets clogged up, validators cannot operate anymore, and everything just stops working. The problem got so bad that a few weeks ago, we saw Solana validators consider banning certain smart contracts to reduce spam in the network. That's definitely not the right solution because that's straight up censorship, which goes against the very core of blockchain. But I understand why they're so desperate to find a solution, because whenever the network crashes, it stays down for hours if not days, and that could be catastrophic for DeFi users. If someone has DeFi loans on Solana, they may get liquidated if they're not able to top off their loans in time. This isn't just some theory, by the way. It happened to Solana users during the January outage, and a lot of people got wrecked for no fault of their own. So that's why I think this is an existential crisis for the team to fix. I don't know what it's going to take, maybe adding a fee market or switching to a modular design. But whatever it is, they have to fix this before the next bull run, or else Solana will never be able to take that next step. Now the second issue that worries me is their tokenomics. Remember this chart from Asari that shows Solana having one of the worst insider concentrations out there? Close to 50% of their initial token supply was allocated to insiders. If we look at their token supply curve, we see that the biggest unlocks are behind us, which means that insiders have had an opportunity to dump their tokens. Surprisingly, the price of SOL did not dump when those unlocks happened, most likely because the insiders and whales were benevolent and bullish. But here's the thing, they got in at such a low price that they're still up like 100x, even though we dropped 80% from all-time highs. So during a prolonged bear market, I expect them to take profits aggressively, which would be terrible for us holders who bought in at much higher prices. But I don't want to dwell on the past because this video is about Solana's future after all. So let's move to the present and look at the state of Solana. But first, a shout out to our video sponsor Bancor. People call them DeFi's best kept secret, and I think for good reason, because they're an amazing way for beginners to earn yield in the DeFi world. They're pretty similar to Uniswap in terms of having an AMM DEX, and you can provide liquidity and earn rewards from it. But recently they launched Bancor 3, and this changes everything. You now get 100% impermanent loss protection from day one. You don't have to stake your tokens a certain number of days to qualify for that. Other protocols do not protect you like this, so it can actually be quite risky to be an LP at times. With Bancor, you can also stake a single token and maintain 100% exposure to that token rather than having to stake both tokens of a pool. And lastly, they auto-compound your rewards, which makes your returns greater without you having to do any manual transactions and waste money on gas fees. There's actually a lot more that's part of this Bancor 3 launch, so go check them out using my link below. Alright, so in terms of Solana's metrics, they're looking quite healthy. Solana's total value locked is sitting at over $4 billion even after a 6-month bear period. And their number of validators has grown to over 1,700 from 1,300 at the beginning of the year. But more importantly, their stake concentration has been improving steadily. This is measured by the Nakamoto coefficient, and theirs has increased to 24, which means that they're more decentralized than before. Speaking of staking, they have over 73% of their available tokens staked, which is one of the highest compared to its peers. And lastly, their developer growth has also topped the charts per the most recent Electric Capital Developers Report. I think a big reason why their metrics are doing so well is because their NFT scene is absolutely popping. Just look at this. They're second only to Ethereum in terms of sales volume. And in the past 30 days, they've done over 300 million in NFT sales. Their unique buyers chart is also trending up and to the right. One explanation for this is that Solana offers low fees and fast speeds, which is what the people want. But I think another explanation is that there's a lot more quality marketplaces that support Solana these days. Like OpenSea and Rarible both started supporting Solana NFTs recently. Then there's Magic Eden, a Solana native marketplace that's doing quite well. Even FTX launched their own marketplace, which supported Solana from the beginning. So with all these options out there, it's no surprise that their NFT sector is still popping despite the bear market. It's not only NFTs though. Solana has seen a bunch of high-profile integrations across the board. Like Coinbase started listing Solana tokens for the first time ever in January. Brave decided to integrate Solana into their browser, allowing their 42 million users to access Solana dApps seamlessly. Phantom, the popular browser wallet for Solana, is doing amazing as well. They surpassed 2 million users recently and reached a $1 billion valuation after the most recent fundraise. So Coinbase, Brave, Phantom, all of these are helping grow the activity and adoption across the Solana ecosystem. But remember, the point of this video is to analyze how Solana will perform this year. So far we've looked at the past and present, and the only thing missing is the future. Specifically, there are 3 things in particular that I'm looking out for this year. First are all the hot projects launching in their ecosystem. Like STEPN is a fascinating project where you can earn tokens by running or walking every day.
Official STEPN event. Get paid to walk, jog, or run. Make sure to show up. I want to see you guys there.
They've been the talk of town on crypto Twitter, and their token pumped a lot in March and April. They've single-handedly kicked off a hype wave for move to earn projects, and I for one am curious if they can sustain their initial success. Another project I'm excited about is Neon EVM. They are building an Ethereum compatible environment on Solana, so people can use their favorite Ethereum dApps but with a fast and cheap experience. It looks like they're only on testnet right now, but I'm hoping that they'll launch on the Solana mainnet before end of year. These projects, and other ones, matter a ton because it's going to take successful apps and protocols being built on Solana in order for it to succeed in the long haul. But if we take a step back from all these individual projects, I really like Solana's broader strategy of focusing on gaming, because gaming is a massive industry that fits well with blockchain in my opinion. Per this report, the global gaming industry is expected to reach $315 billion by 2027. And Solana is making a huge bet on this trend with their multi-million-dollar funds that are investing in gaming-related companies. One partnership I really like is their partnership with Krafton, the parent company of PUBG, and they're exploring NFTs for their video games. This is all quite early, but I hope that some sick games will come out of this sooner rather than later. The second thing I'm looking out for is all the partnerships in and around the Solana ecosystem, courtesy of FTX. We all know that Sam Bankman-Fried and his FTX empire have long been a supporter of Solana, so all their masterful partnership and marketing moves also benefit Solana. For example, Coachella launched their NFTs in partnership with FTX, and of course they were on Solana. And then all their sports-related deals, like with the Miami Heat, Tom Brady, Steph Curry, all of those will benefit Solana in some way, because if they launch anything, it will likely be on Solana. And the third thing I'm looking out for are any big upgrades or changes to the network itself. For example, Solana has long been in beta mode, but eventually they gotta fix their bugs and put out an official 1.0 version so that they can finally lose that beta tag. I'd also like to see an on-chain governance process, because right now, their governance is quite centralized. Someone put out a proposal for this in mid-2021, but it hasn't been adopted or pushed forward yet. These would both be huge changes, but I think they'd be beneficial for Solana, so fingers crossed that we see them both come to fruition this year. Alright, so after taking all of these points into consideration, my final verdict is bullish on Solana, but I wouldn't hold too much SOL this year. I think they have a ton of potential with all this growth and integrations and partnerships, but we can't ignore the fact that we're in a bear market right now. And because of that, we have to be wary about the potential selling pressure from insiders. Keep in mind that SOL already did a 100x in 2021, so it's unlikely for them to do it again anytime soon. Maybe it can pull a 10x, but I think it's more likely to drop 90% than pull a rocket ship this year. Just my 2 cents. If you want to learn more about all the network issues and outages plaguing Solana, then watch this video right here. Or watch this one about why I'm super careful about investing in Solana ecosystem projects these days. See ya!